Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Shuklambaradharam Vishnum Sasivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasannavadanam Dhyayet Sarva Vignopasantaye Yasyat Virada Vaktradhya Parishadhya Parasatam Vignam Nigdhanti Satatam Vishvaksenam Tamasraye Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Prapanna Parijataya Totra Vetraikapanaye Jnana Mudraya Krishnaya Geeta Mrtaduhe Namaha. Now, you wanted a review of 13th Adhyayam. So, we asked a few questions. First one is, he says, Krishna, I want to learn about what is nature, first is question. Then what is Purusha? Nature is Prakriti. What is Prakriti? What is Purusha? And then who's the indweller? And then where does the indweller? All the kshetras that he resides in. So who's the indweller? What are the various kshetras? And then what is the knowledge that is to be known? Those are the questions he asks. So very simply put, it's Bhagavan says, this body is a kshetra, and the one who knows that this is a kshetra is a kshetrajna. The kshetra and the addition to that is jna. Jna means knowledge. One who knows this is a kshetra is a kshetrajna. He is also called Purusha. He is also called Atma. Whatever name we give him, that's what it is. That's who it is. And then he says, what is the knowledge to be known? The knowledge to be known is only to know about the Kshetrajna, to know about the Atma. The Atma Vidya is the only knowledge that is to be known. Then he says, hear from me, Krishna, in briefly about the Kshetra, what it is, what is its appearance, how it changes, and where it comes from, and about the Kshetrajna and its glory. Then he continues. And then he says the glory of Kshetrajna, the Atma, has been sung by the various rishis in the various Vedas. People who have experienced it cannot stop sharing the bliss that they experience in knowing the indweller. So all those things are given to us in Vedas, and the rishis and the sages have talked about it. Now, about the body itself, he says, where does the body come from? And, it is coming because, now this is very important. This is probably where you may have gotten a little bit confused. What is our body composed of? This is not a theoretical knowledge. It just applies to your own person, right? And what is this body that I've got? Think about it. And what it is, it came about because there was a primal desire by Bhagavan to create. That desire, the primal desire, is the one that caused, that's the very first thing that happened. Then from there came what we call the all-encompassing Mahadbhutam, the intelligence, the cosmic intelligence that we talk about. Then the feeling of Ahankaram, I am the doer. That feeling is there, right? Among each one of us. So that feeling. And then the 5 elements that we have, the Panjabhutangal that you know. And not only that, then we have the 5 Karmendriyas, 5 Jnanendriyas, and our Manas, or mind, right? And not only that, we have the 5 senses of perception, the Jnanendriyas. Correspondingly, they have to perceive something else in the external world. Like my eyes sees the vision. Vision comes from light. Like my mouth comes from taste, like that, right? So that's how we interact with the world outside. The corresponding characteristics in the external world, the object that attracts the 5 senses. And then we have opposing feelings, love and hatred, pleasure and pain, and all these things. On top of that, we all know that our body has got a life-supporting force. All the things that is mentioned just now are all constituting the body. The kshetra is it comes about by the joining, the changing, and the separating of the various things I just outlined. Okay? Then, what is the knowledge that is to be known? What is the Atma Vidya? But to know that, you have to have wisdom. You have to imbibe wisdom. What are some of the qualities of a jnani, right? Who has obtained this jnanam? Bhagavan goes through several qualities. Humility without conceit, very important. Amanitvam, it is called, okay? And in slokam number 8 and or 9 in your book, depending on which, or 6 or 7, depending on which book you follow. So humility, let me say that in English. So humility, true sincere humility without conceit, absence of pride and pretentiousness, and non-violence, forbearance, candor, which is straightforwardness and honesty, worshipfully serving the teacher, purity, steadfastness, absence of desire in and mental detachment from sense objects, absence of the feeling of doership, reflecting on the misery-producing nature of birth, death, old age, and diseases. When you think about what is this world, we are born, we die, we become old, there are so many illnesses, thinking about them, reflecting on that, so that you understand with clarity what is happening. Non-possessive attitude towards children, wife, and house. Just keep them as trusted agents. Bhagavan says, you are my trustee. You don't own anything in this world. Everything is operate as is that the basis of trust. They all belong to me, and you are my trustee and agent. So balanced mindset ever towards both pleasing and displeasing happenings. Both ever, as we saw earlier, both sides of the same coin. That kind of mental mindset and attitude. And disciplined devotion to me, Bhagavan says, exclusive of all other thoughts and without feeling separate from me. Then, preference to private moments with the indweller, with the Bhagavan, with the self, sitting in a corner somewhere. Doesn't have to be puja room. Even when you're in a group gathering, you can mentally spend some private moments with the self. Then aversion to people crowd. Automatically, you become averse to parties and big noise makings and all these things. You will not have taste for that anymore. And then also constantly trying to see what is the truth, what exactly is the truth, what is happening here, what is behind all this. The excavating, where are you, Bhagavan? Looking for him everywhere. And then perseverance in the embrace of the indweller, not giving it up. I want to embrace you. I want to see you. I want to touch you. I want to talk to you. All these various things just described, they all pertain to jnanam, pertain to wisdom, the qualities of a jnani, Bhagavan says. All things other than that, they belong in the realm of ignorance. Then Arjuna asked a question. Okay, I understand now about Kshetra and then how I should conduct myself in living in this Kshetra, right? With these various qualities I must develop. But why should I know about Kshetrajna? What is so great about it? Then Bhagavan laughs and he says, Arjuna, that is the most important knowledge because you must know that because that is the only one that will give you bliss. Nothing else will give you bliss. So you must. So he points to him the importance and the essence of Atma Vidya. Then he describes where is this Kshetrajna? Is he resident only in the body? Now Kshetrajna means he knows who the Kshetra is, but where is he present? Bhagavan says, beautiful slokam number 14, Sarvatah Panipadam Tat Sarvatokshi Siromukam Sarvatat Strutimal Loke Sarvam Avritya Tishtati. It has eyes everywhere. It has feet everywhere, hands everywhere, heads and mouths and ears all over. It pervades and is established in everything in the universe, Bhagavan says. That's a beautiful declaration from the Lord. But then where is it? How do it says it shines through the senses. Bhagavan says, you may not be able to see me, but the light that you see with, that is me, Bhagavan says. So it shines through the senses. Without that, the senses do not operate. And it also supports everything. But at the same time, it is detached from everything. and it has no tendencies, no characteristics whatsoever, but it enjoys the play. It has no gunas, gunatitaya, but it enjoys the play of the gunas that we are now learning in chapter 14. Then it says it's present from both within and without. It is within the Kshetra, it's also without the Kshetra. It is everywhere. Difficult to be known, but extremely subtle. But it's very far and it's also very, very near. And then it says, even though it is the unifying things among all the appearances, it makes these appearances appear as if they are different. And it creates, supports, and swallows all things. It is that which is to be known. And Bhagavan continues to describe that, how he says, fine, it is knowledge, the thing to be known, the goal for the path of the knowledge. Everything is it only. And where does it reside in the Kshetra? It resides in the heart, in the Hridayam. Hridaya. Hridaya. Daya means compassion, love. Hrid means established. So the seat where within our own body, within our own mind, where love and compassion is established, the thing that springs from us to go and feed the hungry, even though I may not know him, right? That spring of love, that's the thing that springs for the mother towards the child. So that Hridaya is where Bhagavan is resident. So then Swami says, just a brief description of Kshetra, knowledge, and that which is to be known has been given. Understand this well, and then once you understand this, my devotees become qualified to experience me. Then he starts talking about Prakriti and Purusha. Prakriti is really no different. He says Purusha is no different from Kshetrajna. But Prakriti and Purusha are without beginning. The various myriad appearances and characteristics have all originated from Prakriti. This is what he further elaborates the teaching in chapter 14. Then Bhagavan talks about Prakriti, the nature as we call it. And it says it gives rise to the play of the 5 elements. The Panchabhutangar, there are 5 characteristics which we talked about, right? And the 10 Indriyas, the mind, intellect, and Ahamkaram, the I am the doer feeling. And then Purusha, he says, is a cause for the enjoyment of the pleasures and pains from this play. Then he says, in reality, this is what Bhagavan describes in detail in chapter 14. He mentions it here. He says, in reality, the Purusha is established in Prakriti and enjoys the characteristics, the gunas, born in nature, Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. Okay? And for his birth in the midst of the experiences of pains and pleasures in Prakriti, attachment to these gunas is the cause, is the reason. Who is it, when you see something, who is it who's actually seeing it? When you think something, who's actually thinking that? The thinker behind all the thoughts, the seer behind all that you see, everything, the supporter. When we enjoy something, who is it actually enjoying? The Lord of all Lords, the one who is said to be Paramatma, resides in this body, but is beyond it. And then Swami says, he who knows that, thus the Purusha and the Prakriti full of gunas, one who knows this, one who experiences this, is not born again, whatever life he leads in this birth. Very important. Now the Buddha issue we were talking about does not matter. Whatever life you lead, if you know the Purusha and you realize the experience the Purusha and the play of nature through the gunas, then you are not born again. Then how can I do that, Swami? Then he describes. Some people know the indweller by meditating on it. And some others through Sankhya Yoga, through knowledge, through inquiry. What is this? What is that? What is behind this? Why is it happening? Questions. Basically, there are 5 questions that you need to ask. They ask that, and then through Sankhya Yoga, they realize and experience firsthand the indweller. And now some others, they actually do through Karma Yoga, by performing action as worship to Bhagavan and surrendering and offering everything to him continuously. They experience him. But then, some people are not aware of any of these parts. So what do? They listen to their gurus. They listen to the teachers who know. And they put faith in the teacher's teachings. Okay? And through that faith, they experience Bhagavan. Okay? And then Bhagavan says, remember something, Arjuna, he says, all around you, whether you see objects that move or do not move, stationary, immobile, does not matter. Whatever appears, whether it is your thought, feeling, emotions, physical objects, it does not matter. Whatever it is, know that to be born in the oneness, in the yogam of Purusha and Prakriti, of Kshetra and Kshetrajna. Very important. It just appears different. This is why Vibhagam comes, but it's actually Vibhaga Yogah. Through the appearances as if they are different, there is a oneness underneath that. So everything that you see, okay, is born from this oneness. The one thing that is common, that is everywhere, that just appears different. He who experiences this indestructible entity in all destructible things, the Lord of Lords, established as the indweller in all things, Bhagavan says, he embraces it. He not only embraces it, after embracing the indweller, he merges, he becomes the indestructible indweller himself and attains a supreme state of oneness. There's no separation. And then he who experiences that it is Prakriti alone, the nature alone, that is doing all actions, experiences the indweller as actionless. Bhagavan again teaches this to us in 14th Adhyayam. It's a gunas. Oh, that one we have not covered yet. That's the slokam that's coming today. It's a gunas. We saw how they operate and how the various strings that are pulled by these three gunas. One who sees the gunas in play sees the gunatitaya, the Parama Purushan beyond the gunas, witnessing and remaining absolutely actionless. And then when you experience firsthand the differences of all appearances dissolve in the same indweller that resides in you as well as in everything else, right? Then, and only from this indweller, all these various appearances appear and disappear. One who experiences this firsthand becomes Brahma himself. Bhagavan again repeats, remember, Arjuna, the indestructible indweller is without beginning. There's no anadi. There's absolutely no beginning for him. Not only that, he has no gunas, no tendencies, no characteristics, except one of love. And love has no reason, no season. It just loves. That's all. It does not expect anything in return. That's what Bhagavan is. And then so the Kshetrajna, so the indweller, what we call as Atma, whatever name you call it, the one, the life force that is supporting all of us. So it is resident in the body. Remember, does, and the body does so many actions, the mind does compel so many actions, the indweller does no action. Remember that. And not only that, he has no attachment. Very important. Because everything is him. When everything is you, how can you be attached to something? Or you attached to your big toe more than your nose, for example? No, everything is you. So there is no special attachment to you to any part of your body, right? The same way, the indweller, the Virata Purusha, and the indweller behind the Virata Purusha, when everything is him only, how can there be attachment, right? In the same way, the all-pervasive sky remains unpolluted, uncontaminated because of its extreme subtleness. Even when a smoke rises up in the sky is untouched by it, right? The indweller, though residing in the bodies everywhere, remains uncontaminated and unpolluted because of its subtleness, sukshmam. In the same way, Arjuna, a single sun illuminates all the worlds. The one indweller illuminates all the bodies, all the kshetras. Kshetras is not limited only to human beings. Everything that you see, the physical, mental, emotional, everything is Bhagavan's kshetra, upadi as it is called, another way. And the same one indweller illumines all the kshetras. So the vision of this knowledge, those who see the difference between the body and the embodied, and see that the universe appearing and disappearing in nature attains the supreme state. This is a quick summary of 13th Adhyaya. Okay. Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Samastalokaha Sukhino Bhavantu Samastalokaha Sukhino Bhavantu Samastalokaha Sukhino Bhavantu Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om.